So what are blockchain bridges? Well, a blockchain bridge is a gateway that allows to and fro of assets and information between blockchains. So say you have an asset on blockchain A and you want to transfer the asset over to blockchain B. Now since the blockchains A and blockchain B are independent and there's no communication between them, this calls for an intermediary, which is the bridge. Well, how does the bridge achieve this? There are multiple ways, and the first one is the liquidity pool method. So say Alice wants to send Bob some dollars from country X to country Y. Since she cannot do so directly, she needs my help. Well, why my help? Because I have a pool of dollars in country X and also another pool of dollars in country Y. Well, now very simply, Alice transfers the dollars over to me in country X, and for her, I transfer the equivalent funds to Bob in country Y. So what do I do? Well, I just listen. So I look for transactions or requests made in X country and make the transactions for the X country people to Y country and vice versa. Now in the blockchain it would look like, so USDC is the token Alice wants to send over to Bob from X blockchain to Y. So Alice interacts with a smart contract, which is actually a liquidity pool of USDC tokens, and me over here is a listener, and I look for transactions or requests made on source chain and initiate transactions on the destination chain. Now why this method is useful is because it is decentralized and using smart contracts and liquidity pools and automated market makers. Hence, this is trustless. But the con is that if there was some token other than USDC which is volatile, there can be impermanent loss because the value on X network might be different than on Y. One of the other ways is the wrapped asset method. In this, again, Alice wants to send dollars to Bob from X country to Y. So now, this time I have another token, wrapped dollar, which is accepted in both the countries X and Y. Now, the specialty of this wrapped dollar is that one wrapped dollar is always equal to $1, which is that the wrapped dollar has pegged its value to $1. So now, whenever somebody sends dollars over here, the same amount of wrapped dollars is minted on the other side. In the blockchain, it would look like this, where ETH is logged into this contract and the controller actually mints the equal amount of WETH on the destination chain. And then Bob can receive WETH or ETH accordingly, because since one wrapped Ether would equal to 1 ETH. But the con is that it has a degree of centralization, as the controller can mint, lock or burn the amount of WETH tokens. Last but not the least, we have another method, light clients and relay method. Well, a light client relay method has a relayer which always listens for a deposit transaction on the source chain. Whenever a deposit transaction is made, relayer sends some data over to the destination chain, and the light node on that chain validates and makes the transaction. The validation is done via proofs of block headers, which are provided by the oracles. This method is actually beneficial because it is decentralized and trustless. There is a certain degree of trust put up on oracles for the correct data. And if a relayer submits a false transaction or a wrong value transaction, that might be a problem. The biggest con of this method is that it takes a lot of time. So this was about the blockchain bridges. Thank you and see you next time.